Welcome to Reggie's Reviews, where it's no filler, no fluff. We just review stuff. And today we're going to talk about the Eminem Benzino situation. It is very surprising that in 2024 we're talking about Eminem versus Benzino, but here we are. So, firstly, I want to say I am an Eminem fan. All right. So, there's been a lot of things that's happened through the years of people trying to retroactively take props away from the white boy, but Eminem is nasty. Eminem is one of the greatest rappers to ever grace the microphone. Um, if he's not in my top 10, he's right there. So I couldn't imagine having Eminem any lower than 11, but he's probably within my top 10. Absolutely. My top 10 can change like the weather, depends on what I'm listening to. Having said that, it is very clear to me that Eminem made a huge mistake bringing Benzino back to life. This was completely unnecessary. Um, there was no need to diss Benzino again in 2024. And so now you've done that, and now Benzino has pretty much come back with a diss track called Rap Elvis. I'm sure everyone's heard it by now. And the diss track is good. There's no getting around it. He got busy on that song. Um, do I think he wrote the song? Of course not. I mean, it's a good song, so of course he didn't write it. But the fact is, the track is here. And Eminem just made a huge mistake here because there was nothing to gain here. I mean, I know Benzino has probably still had interviews where he talks about Eminem. He probably does that a lot. I mean, I'm not an expert on all Benzino's interviews. I don't watch him like that. But I'm sure he has continued to talk about him. And it's like, who cares? Of course he is. He's the loser of the conflict. The loser of the conflict is, of course, going to keep talking because he's the loser of the conflict. I'm a Ja Rule fan. I like Ja. But if you do a Ja Rule interview, eventually you have to talk about 50. You just have to. It's just like the elephant in the room that you have to talk about. If you do an interview with 50, you don't necessarily have to bring up Ja Rule. 50 was looked at as the winner of the conflict. So that's the difference. So if Eminem does an interview, which he pretty much never does, but if Eminem does an interview, you don't have to bring up Benzino. He was the winner of the conflict. It was a decisive victory of the conflict. I've said I think it's the most decisive victory in any rap battle ever. Because when you look at it, if you think about some rap battles real quick, you think about Cannabis and LL, right? It's debatable about who won the lyrical side of the beef. You could go back and forth. I personally thought Cannabis won, but it's close. The margin of victory is close. But if you look at like the war side of it, like what happened after the battle, I mean, it's pretty clear that LL won by a large margin, right? But with M and Benzino, the margin of victory on the lyrical side of the battle was massive, Grand Canyon size massive. And the winner of the war side was even more massive for Eminem. Like the war side is like the universe. It kept expanding every single year because Benzino was still salty about it. That ether was still burning in his soul all these years later. And so there was no need for him to ever say anything else about Benzino. It was completely unnecessary. And he has this track. It's an okay song where he just starts randomly dissing Benzino. And I mean, and Benzino came back, and it just, I mean, he bodied him. I mean, the only other Eminem diss track that comes close to this will probably be Rap Devil by Machine Gun Kelly. But this one might be a little bit better just because with Rap Devil, as good as it was, there were little parts of it that were kind of off. Like him saying, I acknowledge you're the GOAT. Like you don't call nobody the GOAT in a diss record. Ever. Right? A diss record is disrespect. Um, but like Benzino's was right on the money. I mean, he had some lines on there that were just on point. And again, I know he didn't write. There's no possible way he wrote it. Doesn't matter. This is a new battlefield where these ghostwriting stuff happens. And I mean, he slayed him on there. What he said, you I'm cooking on these streets, you missing season like you rookie and B. Bam. You Shady Records is more of a description. Bam. Just shot after shot after shot. I mean, these punches just landed back to back to back to back. The flow on that song was good. The beat on the song was good. It's a good diss record. And I don't know. Like, I just don't know why M did this because now the question is Eminem going to respond to it? And to me, he has to respond. But at the same time, I don't know what he can do because the he already bodied him. He already killed this guy. Like The murder file was sealed. He murdered Benzino, and now we gotta reopen it like it's True Detective. Like he bodied him. It was already over, and so now, what else can M possibly do? Like he's gonna be compared against himself because he's gonna anything he comes out with now is gonna be compared to Nail in the Coffin or compared to the Sauce. These were epic diss records. So like now I don't know what he really could do because Benzino was being compared to the diss records he did back then, and those weren't good, but this one is. So it's hard. And the other thing is you have to acknowledge the fact that this is the 2024 battlefield. It's completely different than the '03 battlefield. It is completely different. The fact is there are a lot of people who are now, because race relations have taken a turn for the worse in this country, they've now retroactively taken props away from M. And so now I feel like people are going to lash to Benzino. As crazy as it sounds, they're going to lash to Benzino. M should have just took the win. You beat him. You destroyed him. Killed his whole livelihood. Destroyed the magazine. It was over. There was nothing else to be said. And now we have this, and I don't know. Like as of today, M hasn't responded. Um, there's a chance he may not respond because I think as a battle rapper, he might be looking at it the same way as like I already killed this guy. There's nothing else I really can say. So yeah, really, really bad decision from M to bring this guy's name up because right now he's got the leg up. Right now he's doing a whole tour about it. I think he's gonna be on Drink Champs. He's been all over doing interviews after this, and salute to him. I mean, the ether has been burning in his soul for over 20 years, and finally he got his get back. And he got his get back because Eminem unearthed him. Eminem opened up the casket, and this dude jumped out of it and punched him in the mouth. It's unfortunate. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. As of today, Eminem has not responded. But if he does respond, I'll definitely react to it and see how it goes. But yeah, bad decision by M. M is still my guy. Eminem is still top 10. But yeah, you got to take the L on this one, bro. It's Reggie Reviews. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Comment at the bottom if you disagree or if you agree. Peace and love.